Earlier this week, I posted a short regarding Splash Mountain. That's, of course, the ride that's basically a log flume that takes you through the story of Song of the South before dumping you off in a big old splash. Fun ride, I enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to what it'll be like after it's refurbished to reflect The Princess and the Frog, or whatever that movie with Tiana's called. Like the movie, I'm bad at remembering titles. But according to the reports, the ride itself is fighting the refurbishment, basically trying to remain the same, which I've ridden that ride recently, and even if they weren't changing it to another ride, it could use some refurbishment. This thing was kind of falling apart. Again, I enjoy the ride, but it looked pretty shabby. I'm from Atlanta, and it kind of reminded me of kind of how the Monster Plantation started to look before they managed to clean it up a little bit, which is sad because at no point in time should Disney World any ride at Disney World for that matter, be comparable to any ride in Six Flags Over Georgia. If there's any place that needs a complete refurbishment, it's Six Flags Over Georgia. That being said, apparently the ride itself is fighting refurbishment. Workers who are trying to refurbish the ride are reporting that their tools are disappearing and later being found in hard-to-reach areas. There are reports of people pulling cords from the walls and the cords pulling themselves back into the walls. In other words, a tug of war. I've worked as a wire puller before. I did it for about almost a year. I have no recollection of any cord ever pulling back that I can think of. I'm sure there are natural causes for it. Maybe if you get enough weight and slack on the other side, maybe that'll be enough. But I find it hard to believe that could happen. So, do I think it's haunted? I don't know, maybe. Disney World has a lot of ghost stories. This ride itself already had an instance that was recent. A lady was I'm skipping ahead. A lady was riding the ride and she felt like something was watching her. And she snapped a picture of a face that was looking back at her to ride. Now, I'm going to post the picture like up in her corner somewhere so you can see it yourself. Not the scariest thing I've ever seen. Doesn't look like a ghost. It looks, to me at least, a little bit like the android from that episode of Scooby-Doo where they meet an android. But that being said, I've read a lot of ghost stories and ghost accounts. I visited a lot of haunted places. And instances where people are refurbishing something or rebuilding something or working on something, starting ghost activity is not at all unusual. A lot of times it's what triggers it, or somebody even moving into a place. Now, I try to be skeptical. Here lately, I'm beginning to learn that my partner, Jeremy Brown, is actually more skeptical than I am, which baffles me. Actually, that's not true. Jeremy's a lot smarter than I am, so skepticism would come naturally to him. But that being said, it's also very possible that somebody's screwing with people. You see, another thing about this particular refurbishment is people who have never really cared about the ride at all has suddenly politicized this change. So it wouldn't shock me at all if somebody wasn't just sneaking on board and screwing with people, hiding tools, messing with wires, just trying to keep this thing from happening, because suddenly a ride that the people complaining didn't care about at all to begin with is suddenly the most important thing in the world. I don't like it when rides change. I really don't. I wish that the rides that were there in the 80s were still there. That being said, change happens. You just got to roll with it and hope that whatever comes next is enjoyable. And same thing with the ghosts. Hey, go in the light or enjoy what's next. That being said, Disney, if you need help taking care of the ghost, give us a call. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day. Alright, so the last time I recorded from my kitchen like this, somebody asked me about my mugs. So, let's take a look. We got Jason Voorhees, the Ghostbusters cup, Pac-Man, Oogie Boogie, Spooky Mickey, Sanderson Museum, Jacko Mickey. Man, I'm blanking on the name of this ride, but it's awesome. Twilight Zone ride Mickey. Tower Terror. Thank you, Brain. Of course, our favorite, Haunted Mansion. Scary Terry. Beetlejuice. And Ghostbusters. Up here is the less Halloween-y stuff, like in the back of the mugs. Rhett and Link, of course, Mythical Society. Oh, and our Universal's Halloween Horror Nights cup. Yeah, I mean, we got other mugs back there too. But with spooky season coming up, we decided to go with the cool ones.